For a long time in Call of Duty, there was one community that was kind of unmatched. The popularity of this group was extremely high. They had millions of subscribers in their communities on separate channels. Entire teams built around doing this, and truthfully, it's one of the hardest things to do in Call of Duty. It just was insanely hard for people who weren't good at it, and that would be Call of Duty Trickshotting. On YouTube, we have seen plenty of different communities form in the gaming scene, and Trickshotting has definitely been one of the more prominent ones, especially here in Call of Duty. Now, Trickshotters have come from other games as well. There are plenty of other first-person shooters where trickshotting can be done, but it just doesn't seem like they ever reached the popularity that a Call of Duty trickshotter could. Now, when you think of trickshotting, usually you think of those FaZe Clan montages featuring some of the greatest snipers that we've ever seen. And for someone who wouldn't know what trickshotting is, it might seem a little bit silly that people moving some sticks on a controller in a weird direction and then hitting a shot with a sniper in a video game could actually be popular, but they just don't seem to realize that at one point here on YouTube, trickshotting was big business. There were plenty of teams putting out these montages, individual players putting out their own individual montages, and sometimes these things would go for millions of views and would garner your channel hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Now, when you look back at a trick shot, the best parts about them, generally, are the reactions. When trickshotting was at its peak, man, from about 2011 to maybe 2014 or so, right in between there, we saw some of the most iconic gaming clips of all time come from trickshots themselves. Mom, get the camera, oh my god, all kinds of different just famous viral clips over the years have spawned from trickshotting clips. Teams like FaZe Clan really rose up into their spot as the most popular sniping teams, and then of course eventually esports teams, based almost entirely around trickshotting. Now when you look at it, the real prominence of trickshotting did really lie within FaZe Clan. They kind of popularized it, and over the years they made so many montages. Even if you count like the individual, member montages of FaZe, there's probably hundreds if not thousands of these montages over the years, and that's just with FaZe and maybe a couple other of the most, prominent teams. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that Logic actually did a song and had it featured in a FaZe Clan montage? Back in the day, when Logic wasn't really as famous and popular as he is now, he actually did a song and he collaborated with FaZe Clan, and they made a montage with Logic. So for those of you who have never, for some reason, seen a trick shot in your life, you can't really describe it as a single shot because there's just so many different trick shots you could do. There's the 360 no scope, which is where you simply just rotate all the way around once and you shoot freely, and if you hit the target, hey, you hit a 360 no scope. Of course, there's like 1080 across the maps, all kinds of shit. There's plenty of different trick shots, and honestly, it took some skill to pull this kind of shit off. I mean, I've tried doing it myself over the years. I've tried hundreds of times. I've never hit a trick shot in a public match. But at one time, there was hundreds, maybe even thousands of individual creators who were pulling this off and garnering legitimate success from it. And over time, when we look at the communities throughout Call of Duty's history, I think it's safe to say that trick shotting, along with sniping, has become one of the biggest communities, if not the biggest. Now, realistically, the whole trick-shotting craze really started in Modern Warfare 2. That's when the clips started to kind of become more popular, at least from what I can remember. There was probably some popular trick shots and stuff like that in games before Modern Warfare 2, but around 2010, right there in the life cycle of MW2, is when we really saw teams like FaZe Clan and these other teams kind of pop up and start doing their thing. And over the years, the community grew and grew, and of course, grew more. These teams had combined over millions of subscribers. Individual channels were reaching hundreds of thousands of subscribers just to see what these guys could pull off. Can you believe that? There was actual individual channels that was based completely around whether or not these guys could hit a trick shot once every couple days and get a good clip. And throughout the next few Call of Duties, really reaching up probably into Ghosts, man, trick shotting was all over the place. I remember playing Search and Destroy in Black Ops 2 on Nuketown. People would be trying to jump the little, the little balcony in front of the window, and they'd try to hit a little basic trick shot. It seemed like every sniper of all time was either going for like Era, Red, FaZe, all these different teams. Everybody wanted in on it, man. It was the new real gold rush of Call of Duty. And throughout these years, the business was booming for trick shots. You could make a legitimate living on YouTube being a Call of Duty trick shotter. It just is, it mind boggles me now just to look back and think about that. But yes, people made a legitimate living being Call of Duty trick shotters. And then the next generation consoles come out. And the big problem with this is that, like many other communities in the Call of Duty community, they were really reliant on game chat, okay? If you look at the best montages of all time, the best trick shots of all time, you're gonna notice that they almost always have a classic reaction. They have everyone in the lobby going stupid, just in disbelief that the shot happened. People raging, children screaming. It was really reliant on the game chat, man. But the new generation of consoles comes out, and for the first time, PlayStation now has party chats, which means that, unlike on the PS3, we weren't forced to use game chat. We could just sit in parties, and if FaZe, Quickscoper Bob 83 came through and shit on us in some free-for-all match, they almost never were going to get the reaction. They were never going to get everyone's reaction in there because everyone was always in a party with their friends. And like trolling and like Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, all this stuff, game chat is what really makes or breaks trick shotting and having fun trick shotting. So around 2015, 2014, that time frame right there when Call of Duty kind of moves into the Exo CODs, I guess you could say. Moves into the next generation of consoles where party chat isn't really, I guess, prominent ever. You're going to see less and less trick shot montages come on YouTube. You're going to see teams like FaZe pretty much focus primarily on vlogging. And over time, you're just going to see that Call of Duty trick shotting has just pretty much died off. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still teams out there, there's still people making montages, and I guess people still love doing it, right? But when you compare it to the height that it was at one time, you're just never going to get that back. Unless forced game chat comes back and Call of Duty just rises up to what it was in like Modern Warfare 2 through Black Ops 2, you're never going to see that again. It just can't happen. This was really evidenced when teams, like I said, like FaZe, who were pretty much complete trick shotters at one point in Call of Duty. That was what their entire channel was based around sniping montages, trick shots, trick shotting montages, cut comms of them sniping, pretty much just the usual, right? At that time, when channels like that started, I guess, diversifying their content, I guess, is the nicest thing I could say about that, aka no more Call of Duty, pretty much vlogging all the time. It showed right there that it was the beginning of the end. So when people were going to make montages, and less people than ever were really watching trick shotting over the last few years when it had been just completely up here and now it was down here, you see that popularity gap dwindling, really. You see that reactions are pretty much never in clips anymore because there's no forced game chat, and you see the biggest teams that are really kind of shining the light on the whole trickshotting community focus on other types of content. Who are you really going to market your content to? If you had 1,000 people who were buying your lemons at this stand, and now only 10 people were interested in buying lemons at this stand, and on top of that, there's no price sign or anything, it just, with all these different aspects and stuff, it was just going to be hard for the trickshotting community to survive. But hey, good news. Sprat comes along in FaZe, and he tries to revive it. So Sprat comes through, he gets promoted to, I guess, the content create leader or whatever over at FaZe, and he tries to bring back the sniping montages, and they do have a really few good ones, I guess. They put out a couple really good ones there for a few months. They were wildly popular. People were really excited. The community was going pretty much stupid over these montages, thinking that trick shotting and stuff was back. But over time, they just stopped. They stopped making trick shotting montages, and at this point, FaZe probably puts out maybe a couple a year, and that's being generous. They put out maybe a couple trick shotting montages a year, and most of the time, it honestly isn't even trick shotting. It's just feeds, crazy shots, things like that. So with the community going from the heights of MW2 through BO2, where pretty much every week there was just a new bundle of these trick-shotting montages and stuff from all these popular teams that were exploding, the community's happy, everyone has a shot to make really a career out of doing something that they like doing in Call of Duty, to now where only maybe a few popular trick shotters are even around. Montages of it on YouTube have become scarce and the views are probably a little bit lower anyways. It's become apparent that Call of Duty trickshotting has hit a massive decline. And it's not really entirely even the content creators' fault. Like, what are you supposed to do when nobody is in game chat? You can't force them into game chat to get reactions and get these you know, legendary clips. And it's just sad to see, man. I remember early on in my teen years here on YouTube playing Call of Duty and stuff, some of my favorite shit to watch was just these awesome montages and these highlights and these clips. And you looked up to them, man. Like, it was an actual talent. It's hard to do. There's professional Call of Duty players who can't trick shot worth a shit. I can't trick shot worth a shit. I've never hit one in a public match. Of course, I've hit them in private matches with setups and stuff like that. But to be able to go into a public match, control the match so much that you can get the final kill cam. That's another problem. There's no final kill cam in the newer Call of Duties. Like in a Black Ops 4, no final kill cam. Your trick shot probably won't make it. So when you have all these elements and shit working against you, what can you honestly do? And it's just sad to look back upon. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here, follow me on Twitter @subtooptimus, join that Discord down below. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, hitting a 720YY and signing out.